Hey, what's up? It is Vdub here, and we are welcoming you guys to the Vdub 2018 FBS Playoff Selection Show. We already know who the 12 teams are in the actual FBS playoffs. That's been out for a few hours now, but if anybody's been paying attention to my channel, you know I've been doing projections for my own 28-team playoff. Well, the conference championship games are over with. The selection show for the 12-team playoffs are over with. Now it's time for you to check out my 28-team selection show. But first, before we get started, I want to get to the criteria and everything that's going to go on in the background before I get into the team reveals. And now these are the procedure breakdowns here for the criteria and procedure breakdowns. If a team played in the conference championship game this weekend, they are in the tournament automatically. 9 conference championship game winners, 9 conference championship game runners-up, followed by the 3 best group of 5 third-place finishers, and then 7 at-large teams. As we see, the seedings, selections, and slottings will be determined by either the final college football playoff rankings, the final AP poll, others receiving votes in the AP poll, and then the ESPN FPI Football Playoff Index rankings. Just like the NFL playoffs, like in the AFC and NFC, 7 teams are in each bracket. First and second round games played at the site of the higher seed, followed by the quarterfinal and semifinal games played at your selected New Year's 6 bowl games, and then a national championship game played at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida, where the Dolphins play, as well as the Orange Bowl itself. Now, of course, the quarterfinals and the semifinal will be determined, like the selections will be determined by the higher seed, meaning the overall number 1 seed will get to choose which path they want to go by for both the quarter and the semifinal. The second best will get to choose then the second closest, and then the third, and then of course the 4th overall number 1 seed is just going to be stuck where at the bowl game where nobody else wanted to play. Seat brackets for between the first and second rounds will recede, meaning the higher seed will play the lower seed. So the first round games will be played starting tomorrow through Friday, and I will announce each time and date when I do the pairings. If anybody has checked out my community tab, you already know exactly which bracket and what seeds for each bracket will be playing at what date and time, but now we will officially let you know exactly what the matchups are in just a few minutes. Second round games will be December 22nd to the 26th to be determined. Check my community tab around December 21st. And that is only because I'm taking a break so I can do a simulation of the actual 12-team college football playoff, which is what I've been doing all season long. But this time I'm going to be doing the first round games. Of course, I'm going to be taking time off to do, of course, the quarterfinals and the semifinals and the national championship for those actual playoff. But you see, the quarterfinal games will be Friday, January 2nd and Saturday, January 3rd at 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern. Semifinal game will be January 5th. That'll be Monday, January 5th, 3 p.m. and 7 p.m. Followed by the national championship game played on Saturday, January 10th, 2026. Though I could possibly push that up a couple of days because of maybe even a Wednesday, January 7th, because I forgot the national championship game or the semifinals are played on the 8th and the 9th, and the NFL playoffs start on January 10th, so I could probably move that to the 7th. And now here will be the game lengths as far as the quarters go. First round are going to be 6-minute quarters each, because that's going to be the most games that we're going to be playing, the 12 games. Then we got second round with 8 games. That'll be 8-minute quarters. The quarterfinals, I believe, will be 4 games each. Will be 4 games, so there'll be 10-minute quarters there. Semifinals, only 2 games there, so that'll be 12-minute quarters. And then the national championship will be the full 15-minute quarters. Every game I will have the accelerated clock with a minimum play clock being at 15 between plays, just so I can make sure these games will go by as fast as they can, so I'm not taking too long on these games, because as I said, I got a lot to record myself. But now that we've gone through all the criteria and everything, the context of how things are going to work, it's time to read some teams. Starting off in the Sugar Bowl bracket, where the number 1 seed, the Indiana Hoosiers, the only undefeated team in FBS right now, as they are Big Ten champions. Kurt Signetti, great job, 23-2 overall in 2 seasons and 2 straight CFP appearances for the Hoosiers. I think they got good things going on right now in Bloomington under Signetti. And then followed by the number 2 seed, the Oklahoma Sooners, who finished 8th in the college football playoff ranking. They will host a game not just in this playoff, but also in the real-life 12-team playoff. They are the number 8 seed. As I said, they'll host a first-round game. At-large team out of the SEC. And they would host the 7th seed, the Toledo Rockets, from the Mid-American Conference. One of the top 3 Group of 5 third-place finishers, and that matchup will be on Thursday, December 11th at noon Eastern. We have the number 3 seed, the Alabama Crimson Tide, who were the runners-up in the SEC championship game last night. They did not look good against Georgia at all. Surprised they still even made the 12-team playoff, but as being number 9 in the college football playoff rankings, they are actually going to be on the road at Oklahoma in the 12-team playoff. However, they will have a home playoff game in my universe. And they would host the number 6 seed to defend the Mid-American Conference champion, the Western Michigan Broncos. And that game will be on Wednesday, December 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And now rounding out the Sugar Bowl bracket, we have the number 4 seed, the James Madison Dukes, the Sun Belt Conference champions. Also a participant in the 12-team college football playoff. They got in as the 12th seed, but they are a 4 seed and will get to host a playoff game in my 2018 playoff. And they will host the number 5 seed, the North Texas Mean Green, the runners in the American Conference Championship game. Again, as I said, top 2 teams in each conference will get an auto bid into this playoff here. The only Group of 5 matchup, or first round matchup between 2 Group of 5 teams. This game will be on December 10th, as well as that Alabama Western Michigan game, but this will be at noon Eastern to start the day off. And there is the Sugar Bowl portion of the bracket here. Again, if you see that the bracket doesn't make sense, why you have like a 2-7, 3-6, 4, 5, why it's in order, it's because once again, the rounds do reseed. So that means the highest seed will play the lowest seed remaining. So these brackets are not set in stone as far as second round matches go. They could win in order and it'll still be 1 versus 4, 3 versus 2. Now to the Cotton Bowl bracket, where the Ohio State Buckeyes are the number 1 seed, and luck would have it, that's where they're actually going to play their real-life quarterfinal game in the 12-team college football playoff. Number 2 overall seed in this playoff, number 2 overall seed in the 12-team playoff, runners-up in the Big Ten championship game, lost to Indiana last night. And now we'll have the number 2 seed, the Texas A&M Aggies, who will actually host a playoff game in the real-life college football playoff as the number 7 seed in that 12-team playoff. They are number 2 overall in my, or number 2 seed in my Cotton Bowl bracket for this 2018 playoff. And they would host the number 7 seed, the Miami of Ohio Redhawks. The Miami of Ohio Redhawks were the runners-up in the Mid-American Conference Championship game, lost to Western Michigan yesterday. And that game between Texas A&M and Miami of Ohio will be on Wednesday, December 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And now we got the number 3 seed, the Miami Hurricanes, an at-large team, and actually snuck into the playoff. As I said, I did not think that the committee would actually flip them over Notre Dame. But you know what? Props to them. Props to the committee, actually, for flipping them over Notre Dame, winning the head-to-head. For once, the head-to-head actually matters at this point of the season, instead of how hot you are or how did you lose towards the end of the season. And they would host the 6th seed, the Kennesaw State Owls, the Conference USA champions. What a great turnaround by the Kennesaw State Owls, from 2-10 to conference champions the very next year, only in their 2nd season in FBS. And this playoff game will be aired on December 9th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Rounding out the Cotton Bowl bracket will be the number 4 seed, the Tulane Green Wave, the winners of the American Conference Championship, as well as they are the 11th seed in the 12-team college football playoff. They'll be on the road for that game, but they'll be hosting this game, and We had some fond memories of Tulane playing in a Cotton Bowl in recent years, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. And they would host the Navy Midshipmen, a conference matchup in the first round. And the only reason why this is allowed is because neither team faced each other in the regular season or in the conference championship match. And I do want to acknowledge a mistake. I did mention that JMU and North Texas was a group of 5 match. I take this back. This is also a group of 5 matchup. And this matchup will actually conclude the first round matchup, as this will be on Friday, December 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern. As we look at it now, 14 teams have been announced. 14 teams are left to be announced here. We have 2 more brackets to be announced. And we're not going to waste any time right now. We're going to start off with the Orange Bowl bracket now. Now to the Orange Bowl bracket, as I mentioned before, number 1 seed, the Georgia Bulldogs. They are number 3 overall in the college football playoff rankings. And some people thought they would be number 2 after their win yesterday against Alabama and Ohio State losing, but Ohio State only drops 1 spot. And I do understand, for those that are wondering, my quarterfinal and semifinal bowl matches don't align with the 12-team college football playoff. I mean, Ohio State, luck just happened with them. And now we have the number 2 seed, the Ole Miss Rebels. The Rebels, again, as I said, they're between coaches right now, as Lane Kiffin left to take the job at LSU. He's not going to be coaching them at all in the college football playoff, the 12-team college football playoff. They are the number 6 seed in the college football playoff, and they would host the Tulane Green Wave, a team they obliterated earlier in the season, but who knows what will happen this time around. And they would host the number 7 seed, the Troy Trojans, the runners-up in the Sun Belt Conference. As I mentioned earlier, you go to the conference championship game, win or lose, you are automatically in my 2018 playoff. As this game, the 2-7 matchup, will be on Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. That will be at noon Eastern. That will be coming up on Tuesday. And now we have the number 3 seed, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, who in real life, I know Irish fans are real disappointed, real upset that the committee ended up putting Miami and Alabama over them. I really thought that, okay, if you're going to go head-to-head, you're going to put Miami over Notre Dame, fine, but I would have thought that Alabama losing the way they did yesterday would have kept Notre Dame in the playoff spot themselves. But, hey, you're in my 2018 playoff. And they would host the number 6 seed, the UNLV Running Rebels, the runners-up in the Mountain West Conference Championship game. And this game will be airing at 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. So do keep an eye on that for as well as the content goes. This will be Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern with the Notre Dame UNLV match. Rounding out the Orange Bowl bracket, we'll have the number 4 seed, the Virginia Cavaliers, runners-up in the ACC Championship game. They were down by 10 late in the fourth quarter, and they were able to come back and tie the game before Duke won it in overtime. So it was pretty disappointing for them, or they would have been in the 12-team college football playoff if they would have won the ACC Championship game. And they would host the number 5 seed, the New Mexico Lobos, and that game will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. We know that New Mexico lost a slew of tiebreakers that cost them a chance to play for the Mountain West Conference Championship, but they were able to get in still as one of the top 3 group of 5 third-place finishers, and I believe they are the last of those third-place group of 5 finishers to be announced in this tournament. And there it is, 3/4 of the bracket done, 21 teams announced. We still have 7 more to go, and it is now time to move on to the Rose Bowl bracket. And the number 1 seed in the Rose Bowl bracket are the Texas Tech Red Raiders, the Big 12 champions, number 4 overall seed, as well as number 4 in the 12-team college football playoff. Of course, the bowl games, as I said, do not align with the real-life playoff, because in my playoff, you get rewarded playing closer to home by being the better team, and that went to Indiana. Of course, they got to choose their path. And we have the number 2 seed in the Rose Bowl bracket, the Oregon Ducks, who would also be the number 5 seed in the college football playoff, hosting James Madison in the real 12-team playoff. Well, they are the highest number 2 seed in my 28-team college football playoff. And the Ducks would host the 7th seed, the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Jacksonville State in as the runners-up of the Conference USA Championship game. And this game will also air on Thursday, December 11th at 7 p.m. Eastern, and that would be the nightcap of the triple header for Thursday, December 11th. And now the 3 seed, the BYU Cougars, the runners-up in the Big 12 championship game. They are in my playoff just because they were in the Big 12 championship game. However, that loss got them eliminated from the actual 12-team playoff. One of the first 2 teams to have missed the playoff. I believe they were the second of the first 2 to miss the playoff. But they are in my playoff and hosting a game in the first round. And they will host the number 6 seed, the Boise State Broncos, who left the Mountain West in style, winning the last 3 consecutive Mountain West Conference championships. The Boise State Broncos 6th seed, and both teams will be kicking off the playoff, as this will be the first game tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern to start off my 28-team playoff. And now, rounding out the Rose Bowl bracket, the last 2 teams, we start off with the number 4 seed, the Texas Longhorns, who kind of knew they weren't going to be in the 12-team college football playoff when the rankings came out last week, the penultimate rankings. But they are in my 28 team, as they are the last at-large team to be mentioned, and they will get to host a game. And the Texas Longhorns will host the number 5 seed, the Duke Blue Devils, the ACC champions. This game will should be airing on Thursday, December 11th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We all know that Duke threw a wrench in things, winning the ACC championship last night, eliminating Virginia and making it possible for James Madison to get in the 12-team playoff. And now this is what a full 28-team bracket will look like. We see the Peach Bowl and the Fiesta Bowl will be your 2 semifinal games. The Peach Bowl will pit the winners of the Sugar Bowl and the Rose Bowl bracket, and the Fiesta Bowl will pit the winners of the Cotton Bowl and the Orange Bowl bracket. And if all 4 number 1 seeds advance, it'll be 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. The last 2 teams in are the Miami Hurricanes and the Texas Longhorns, and the first 2 teams out, 2 real solid teams, had great seasons, Vanderbilt and Utah. Unfortunately for them, there was not enough room for them to be in this 2018 playoff. But still, hats off to great seasons by both schools, especially Vanderbilt, that had their first 10-win season in school history this season. And that is going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this selection show. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget that the first game will be tomorrow at noon Eastern. That will be Boise State at BYU, the 6 versus 3 in the Rose Bowl bracket. And then also we got the 5 versus 4 in the Orange Bowl bracket, New Mexico at Virginia at 7 p.m. Eastern. Again, no NBA 2K content out this week, because this is going to be very heavily on this 2018 team bracket, because there's 12 games I have to go through in 5 days. And then also Friday night at 7 p.m. Eastern will be Army-Navy simulation. So the simulations still have not ended yet. And then also the week after, I'll be doing simulations for the actual 12-team college football playoff. And that will do it. I am Vinny from Vdub Productions, and I am signing off.